Good morning. Welcome to Daily Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 2nd of May. So looking at the euro dollar first, and well, yesterday we saw pretty much an inside day with very few markets open. There was very little market to be made there. Today, well, obviously the daily pivot is going to be quite pinched in terms of where we are. Looking from this monthly perspective, of course, we've got the new monthly pivot below us, which has a reasonable probability of being hit each month. So it will be interesting to see how the week and month pans out towards that area. Of course, it's not very far away. The range is very tight. We've been sitting in a very choppy range for the last week, never really managing to get much higher than Sunday stroke Monday's highs there, and never getting any lower and filling the gap. So the gap still sits there, obviously, as a possible target. Already hit the weekly pivot that's we've just run through the Asian session here. As I said, there's very little range in this at the moment. And looking at where we could be heading off, well, if we start breaking down to the downside, there's this 4-hourly 50, which equates to this 200, this hourly 200 that's sitting at the lows here, and that would be a lovely target if it starts. I say a lovely target, a reasonable target if it starts breaking down. The ranges are pretty slim in this market at the moment, and of course we've got the major vote in this coming Sunday for France, which the markets may hold off for, but of course it is the first week of the month, so we've got quite a bit of data coming out, particularly non-farm payrolls on Friday, which often gives us a bit of a kicker at this stage. Then, well, right, as I say, a bit range bound. Maybe if it starts breaking out the top of yesterday's highs there, we could be on for Friday's highs. Not a lot of target and points there in it if it does start going. So very slim on the range before we run into resistance. And likewise, if it starts breaking down, really, even though I'm looking at this hourly 200, if it was to break to the downside, looks quite nice. It's not many points overall, so quite a tight old market. Looking at the pound, a bit more data coming out of the pound this week, and particularly in the mornings, 9:30, we've got the construction PMI today, services PMI tomorrow, and then on Friday we've got the, I'm just looking actually, was the data release yesterday. We may have some more data coming out, but manufacturing today, construction tomorrow, and services Friday. Oh, okay, on Thursday. So, yep, we've got some data coming out that could create some volatility. Of course, got non-farm payrolls on Friday. So, how it's shaping up at the moment? Well, there was almost a divergence by the looks of things on the dailies here, heading off at the moment, looking like it wants to run back towards that new monthly pivot there. Maybe if we see a break of the 4-hourly 50, it'll give us a bit more confirmation of that weakness in the market there. It's already just sitting as we are looking here, breaking through some of the key moving averages. It's already hit the daily pivot pretty close to its S1, maybe to the downside target wise at the moment, with the lower highs, lower lows, which it seems to be sort of, as I said, since yesterday, looking to the downside. This 200, this hourly 200 may be a near-term target to the downside. Dollar yen, well, there's some still potential upside in this. I was looking at it last month. I mean, ironically, it's almost there now. It's last month's pivot that it missed. It's certainly in an upward trend there on the 4 hourlies. It made it look, it was a lot clearer. We had a lot of mess towards the end of last week, though, making it pretty much untradeable for me. I'm looking for some sort of idea of trend at least, and the intraday ranges were snappy. Looking where we are at the moment, well, it's certainly made a push up this morning. Looking, as I say, looking for that ghost pivot as it would be now. Looking to the weekly R1 pivot that's just sort of sitting at the same sort of level, could be going up there. Any sell-off on the dollar yen? I'd be looking at the breaks, and obviously the weekly monthly pivot early on in the month seem reasonable targets for sort of intraday swings maybe. Okay, Aussie dollar, it's just run there. Aussie dollar, well, it's been putting lower highs in, lower lows, bit messy last week, and it sort of put a bit of a butterfly sort of pattern in there, finishing off actually yesterday quite strongly. Interest rates were left untouched. Statements were not particularly. Just looking at here, there's more upbeat tone in the statements, which might give it a move up now. But overall, it's an iffy one for me, the Australian dollar. Bearish engulfing 4-hourly bar here, which is really signaling possibly some further downside there. Below us, it's not a lot. So untouched daily pivot at the moment, so maybe be heading south towards that. Looking at at the 4-hourlies, there's sort of divergence price action going on, maybe there. So, as I say, it's had a bit of a blow towards the up there. Had a good day yesterday, but pretty much on its own. And then selling back off to today. Breaks below the 34, maybe the 50, could see selling, stronger selling coming in there, pushing back down and heading back towards the last week lows. Okay, Aussie dollar and finally Canadian dollar here. So oil was, I'll just show you the price of oil at the moment is down, right down back end, down to $48. So Canadian dollar struggling with this, and as expected last week, lots of upside moves, but some horrible whips in between that. In that move there, we saw some quite strong whips at times. At the moment, pushing up again, it looks like it's in this sort of a small 4-hourly wedge, probably clear on the hourlies there, but it looks to me like it's could be pushing up towards today's R1 there. Friday's highs are in that sort of region, pretty close to it, so maybe see some continuation. So maybe look for retracements to get into a move to play that upside. That's pretty much it for me today. There's news-wise, we're quite slim on the ground. We've already seen the Australian data coming out. Got the manufacturing PMI coming out at 9:30, and that's it for the day. So they're the key figures. Of course, we still got the political data going on in the background, which is often giving more kick than some of these economic reports. I'll leave it to you. Have a great day. Bye for now.